The Owerri-Linda. The Owerri-Linda book is one of the most mysterious manuscripts ever discovered in Europe. Found in the Netherlands in the 19th century, the book claims to originate from the ancient Frisian civilization, a people who lived long before the Greeks and Egyptians. Its contents are a mixture of alternative history, mythology, and highly unconventional spiritual principles. The world was once said to be led by a great goddess named Freya, and humankind originated from a now sunken polar continent. The language used is an old Frisian so archaic that even experts struggle to comprehend it. But what makes the book frightening is its effect on those who study it seriously. Several researchers have experienced recurring nightmares. They see great floods, hear a woman's voice speaking in a language they do not recognize, or feel their grasp on reality slipping. One account mentions a translator who became paranoid for weeks after studying the manuscript. The book is believed to hold more than just alternative history. The symbols within it resemble geomantic codes, and there are certain pages that, if read repeatedly, induce a sensation of mental pressure and a loss of the sense of time. One theory suggests that the book was not written by ordinary humans, but was received through a revelation from an unknown entity. The Prague Manuscript. Kept in secret within an old private collection in Prague, the Prague Manuscript is an ancient text whose author, origin, and language remain unknown. The manuscript appeared without any known history, unlisted in any catalog before the 1900s, and was supposedly discovered behind the stone wall of an old cellar filled with alchemical symbols. What makes this manuscript so disturbing is its content. Diagrams of the human body with root-like branches growing from vital organs, symbols that resemble a mix of Arabic, Latin, Hebrew, and unknown scripts, and illustrations of shadowy rituals and eyeless entities. Each page seems designed not for casual reading, but to manipulate the reader's mind. Several local academics who had the chance to study it reported psychological side effects, subtle whispers at night, recurring dreams of damp stone rooms, and a persistent feeling that they were being watched by something from beyond the text. One librarian who manually archived it was found disoriented, speaking in an unrecognized language for 3 days. Even more mysteriously, some symbols from the Prague manuscript have also appeared on the cellar walls of an old chapel in Bohemia, a chapel built long before the manuscript was ever known to the public. Is this manuscript a channel to a non-human collective memory, or a map to a place that should never be visited? Whatever it is, the Prague manuscript is a book that does not wish to be understood, for perhaps those who comprehend it will lose themselves in the process. The Codex Serafinianus. First published in 1981 by Italian artist Luigi Serafini, the Codex Serafinianus appears to be a scientific encyclopedia from another world, filled with detailed illustrations, elegant handwriting and a fabricated alphabet, and strange diagrams of living creatures, architecture, and even laws of physics that do not apply in our world. But what makes this book not merely strange but unsettling is how it disrupts the reader's perception of reality. The language used is completely untranslatable. Some linguists have reported feeling nauseous and dizzy when trying to decrypt its linguistic system, not because it is difficult, but because it seems designed to mimic the way the brain functions during a dream. Inside are images of humans transforming into crocodiles while bathing, plants growing from human bodies, and machines that turn corpses into flowers. There is no explanation, no consistent pattern, and that is what makes it dangerous. Many obsessive readers have reported losing time after reading, as if they had mentally entered the book itself. Some have even experienced recurring dreams of the world depicted within its pages, even when they could not recall the last time they opened it. Serafini himself claimed to have written the book in a state of creative trance over 30 months without knowing the meaning of the language he created. He calls it the universal alphabet of dreams, and states that the book is not meant to be understood, but to be felt. And it is for this very reason that the Codex Serafinianus becomes an artistic portal that can disturb the subconscious of a reader who delves too deeply. Some call it beautiful, others call it a curse from another dimension. The Dictionnaire Infernal. Written by Colin de Plancy and first published in the 19th century, the Dictionnaire Infernal is known as the Dictionary of Demons for its catalog of hundreds of supernatural beings, devils, and spirits from European demonology, but the 1863 edition is the most terrifying, as it was the first version to include illustrations of these creatures, rendered with strange anatomical details in human proportions and eyes that seemed alive. The book does not just list the names of entities like Belial, Asmodeus, Baal, and Behard, but also explains their functions, who can summon them, what they promise, and what rituals must be performed. And herein lies the true danger. Many lay readers are unaware that parts of the text are not merely descriptive, they read like ritualistic instructions disguised in academic language. Some esoteric collectors refer to the 1863 edition as a book that forcibly opens the inner eye. One popular story tells of a painter who tried to replicate the illustration of Bechard from the book, only to experience intensely vivid dreams of the figure appearing and speaking to him in a language he did not understand for 6 consecutive nights. After this, the painter stopped painting and never explained why. Most mysteriously, although hundreds of creatures are illustrated, some entities appear only in the 1863 edition and are found in no other tradition of demonology. It is as if they appeared from nowhere, or were channeled from a place beyond human history. The Dictionnaire Infernal is not just a dictionary, it is an archive of entities that most of the world should never know existed. Le Livre des Esprits, published in 1857 by Allan Kardec, Le Livre des Esprits, the Spirit's Book, is the foundational text of the modern Spiritist movement, a teaching that believes humans can communicate directly with the spirits of the dead to obtain wisdom from the other world. The book was compiled not from imagination, but from hundreds of seances conducted through mediums who claimed to receive direct answers from wise spirits. On the surface, its contents seem philosophical and religious, discussing life after death, reincarnation, morality, and the structure of the spirit world. But if you delve into certain sections that are rarely discussed, particularly the chapters on evil spirits and wandering spirits and entity imposition, you will find instructions that begin to resemble protocols for summoning and merging human energy with unknown spirits. Many reports claim that readers who attempt the practices in this book without strong mental training experience strange disturbances, dreams of disembodied voices, the emergence of dual personalities, or whispers in the night directing them to certain places. In some cases, they begin to lose the ability to distinguish between their inner voice and an external one, a phenomenon known in psychology as auditory hallucination, but called in Spiritism the usurpation of their stream of consciousness. What makes it more chilling is that Allan Kardec himself died under mysterious circumstances. Some of his followers believe he did not truly die, but succeeded in joining the spirit structure he had built throughout his life, leaving his physical body an empty vessel. The book is still widely available today, but for those who read it not merely to understand, but to open a channel of communication, sometimes the one who answers is not a family spirit, but something that has been waiting for a very long time. Les Chants de Maldoror, The Songs of Maldoror, written by the Comte de Lautréamont in 1868, is not merely a work of literature. It is an explosion of metaphysical rage, a prose poem considered too extreme even for its time. The book is written in a poetic style, full of beautiful sentences, yet its entire substance is a curse against life, against God, and against the moral order of humanity. Its protagonist, Maldor, is a half-human, half-demonic being who declares open war on goodness and reality. He describes murder, mutilation, a union with a shark, and blasphemy against the divine in symbolic forms so absurd that they feel deeply unsettling to the subconscious mind. What sets Maldoror apart is its effect. Many readers report a chilling sensation when reading certain passages or experiencing strange dreams for days afterward. Some describe a feeling of being sucked into the illogical narrative, as if their own minds were being stripped away and replaced by the mindset of the malevolent protagonist. The book was once very difficult to find and circulated only among occultists, surrealist artists, and followers of dark spiritual movements. Antonin Artaud, one of France's most tormented artists, claimed that Maldoror was a book that rewrote my soul without my consent. It is rumored that one painter who tried to create illustrations based on the book suffered a complete mental collapse and was institutionalized for the rest of his life. Some say Maldoror was not written by an ordinary man, but was received by Lautréamont from something older and darker than morality itself. And this book is not meant to be understood, but to infiltrate the parts of your mind you never wanted to touch. The Corpus Hermeticum. The Corpus Hermeticum is a collection of ancient texts said to originate from a mythological figure named Hermes Trismegistus, a syncretic figure combining the Egyptian god Thoth and the Greek god Hermes. Although Latin versions are widely circulated in academic circles, the original versions in Greek and Coptic, discovered in the Nag Hammadi Library in Egypt, are far more unsettling and have almost never been fully released to the public. This book describes the universe as a divine puzzle, but not in the way of conventional religious teachings. The Corpus Hermeticum suggests that this reality is not the creation of a benevolent God, but a flawed imitation of a corrupted celestial mind, and that humans can liberate themselves free by detaching their consciousness from the body and uniting with the celestial intellect. This process sounds mystical, but some parts of the text describe meditation and visualization techniques that closely resemble a dissociative trance, a method for forcibly separating the soul from the body. A number of esoteric practitioners have reported unexplainable effects, fragmented dreams, extreme déjà vu, and the pervasive feeling that reality is a simulation. Some call this book a trigger for a destructive enlightenment, not one of peace, but of the shattering of the ego's structure. In ritual sessions, the original text is used to build stages of ecstasy that can supposedly unlock cosmic consciousness, but with the risk of never being able to return to an ordinary human state. There is an unofficial account from a translator who claimed to have read the most secret parts of the text for 3 consecutive days and experienced a 9-hour blackout, only to be found writing unknown characters on his bedroom walls. The Corpus Hermeticum is not just a book of philosophy, it is a map for departing from humanity if you are brave enough or mad enough to try it. Liber Loa Gaeth is one of the most dangerous and perplexing manuscripts to have ever emerged from the history of Western occultism. Created in the 16th century by John Dee, an advisor to Queen Elizabeth I, and the spiritual medium Edward Kelly, the book is claimed to be the book of the angelic language, delivered directly by entities from a celestial dimension during channeling sessions. But the beings they summoned were not angels as they are understood in mainstream religion. Dee and Kelly received hundreds of pages of text written in an unknown language, later called the Enochian language. Liber Loagaeth is the heart of all these communications. A book containing strange tables, unknown letters, and the cosmic structure of the unseen world. But there are no instructions, no explanations, only sequences of patterns and sounds that cannot be interpreted by logic. Many esoteric researchers believe Liber Loagaeth is not meant to be understood, but to be spoken aloud. And herein lies the danger. There are reports from modern occultists who attempted to read these tables out loud and subsequently experienced extreme symptoms, prolonged migraines, a loss of the sense of time, and even identity dissociation. As one practitioner put it, I felt my mind being restructured like a machine, but it was no longer human. Some pages contain patterns resembling the neural networks of the brain, leading to speculation that Liber Loagaeth is not a book, but a sonic code that can manipulate human consciousness if recited in a particular sequence. John Dee himself admitted that he did not fully understand what he had written. In his private journals, he once wrote, "I fear that these entities are not guiding me, but are using me for a purpose I cannot yet comprehend." The Nabatean agriculture. On the surface, the Nabatean agriculture appears to be a classic scientific manuscript, an ancient agricultural book explaining techniques for planting, caring for, and harvesting crops in the Middle East. Written in Arabic around the 10th century and claimed to be a translation of an even older source from the Nabatean civilization, the text spans thousands of pages, but for those who delve deeper into its contents, the book more closely resembles a hidden grimoire, a mystical text disguised as a treatise on agronomy. The hidden portions of the text contain rituals for communicating with plant spirits, the summoning of sky spirits to bestow fertility, and even the cultivation of a blood tree believed to absorb human consciousness. In this book, plants are not merely living things, but entities possessing will, memory, and the ability to house the souls of the dead. Some ancient practitioners referred to the Nabatean agriculture as a tome for binding the weather and the spirits of the earth. The rituals in the book advise the reader to whisper specific words to a plant's roots during an eclipse, or to bury human fingernail clippings to cultivate ancestral memories. The manuscript also contains astrological charts that must be synchronized with planting seasons, a violation of which is said to trigger a spiritual corruption of the soil. Most unsettling are the testimonies of modern translators. Some have confessed to experiencing dreams of talking trees or hearing a rustling sound that called their names while translating certain passages. One translator even disappeared mysteriously before the complete manuscript was published. The Nabatean Agriculture is not just an ancient farming manual, it is a book that stands between the world of spirits and the world of roots, written by human hands, or perhaps not. The Suicide Manuscript. The Suicide Manuscript is one of the most mysterious and terrifying texts never to have been published in its entirety. Discovered in the 1950s in the Balkan region, believed to be Serbia or Bosnia, the manuscript consists of about 36 handwritten pages written in a mixture of Slavic languages, Latin, and an unidentified alphabet. Its original title is unknown, but in police reports and secret academic archives it was dubbed the Suicide Manuscript. The book's content appears to be a series of disconnected sentences, strange commands, numerical repetitions, and seemingly nonsensical symbols. What is horrifying, however, is the pattern of tragedy that has accompanied its appearance. The first 3 people who found it died within 2 weeks, 2 of whom tragically took their own lives. A linguistic student who tried to decipher its language reportedly fell completely silent for 11 days, then vanished from his university. Researchers believe the book was not written to be read like a normal text, but as a linguistic code that acts directly on the human subconscious. In an investigative report leaked to the esoteric community, it was mentioned that readers who recited certain lines aloud began to hear commanding internal voices, especially at night. Specific phrases repeated such as "start over," "go within," and "leave the body." The original manuscript is now reportedly held by a private institution and is never allowed to be scanned or photographed. It may only be read by researchers under psychiatric supervision. To this day, no one knows who wrote it or for what purpose, other than, perhaps one, to erase the will to live. For some, the Suicide Manuscript is merely an academic urban legend, but for those who have come into direct contact with it, none have ever been the same.